You're not failing to lose belly fat. You're being protected from losing it. And that changes everything. You eat less. You move more. You track your calories. You do exactly what you were told. And yet, the fat around your stomach doesn't move. Not really. It softens. It shifts. But it stays. Like it's waiting. So you push harder. Less food. More cardio. More discipline. Because the equation is simple, right? Calories in. Calories out. But what if your body isn't solving that equation at all? What if it's solving a different problem? Survival. There's a specific type of fat that lives deep inside your abdomen, wrapped around your organs. Silent. Hidden. Metabolically active. This is visceral fat. And it does something most people never realize. It listens. Not to calories. Not to your workouts. But to signals. Especially one. Stress. When your brain senses stress, it releases cortisol. Not as a mistake, but as a survival tool. Cortisol raises your blood sugar, sharpens your focus, prepares your body for threat. For a short moment, it's useful. But when that signal doesn't turn off, your body starts to adapt. Visceral fat is filled with cortisol receptors, which means it doesn't just store energy. It responds to stress directly. When cortisol rises, this fat becomes more active. It pulls in energy. It stores more aggressively. And then it sends signals back. Inflammatory signals. Signals that tell your brain, something's wrong. Stay alert. Stay stressed. And just like that, you're inside a loop. Stress, fat storage. Fat, more stress signaling. More stress, more storage. A system that feeds itself. Quietly. Continuously. Now here's where it gets more confusing. Because you try to fix it. You cut carbs. You try fasting. You try to lower insulin. Because you've heard, if insulin is low, you burn fat. Sounds logical. But your body has a backup system. Even if you don't eat, your body can still create sugar. Inside your liver, there's a process that turns protein and other molecules into glucose. It's called gluconeogenesis. But think of it like this: a hidden generator. And cortisol is the switch that turns it on. So even while you're fasting, your body can raise blood sugar. And when blood sugar rises, insulin still gets released, which leads to a strange state. You're not eating, but your body is still being fed. You're trying to burn fat, but your body never fully switches modes. Cortisol is high. Insulin is not low enough. And fat burning gets quietly blocked. You're doing everything right, but your biology is solving for something else. And then come the habits that seem healthy, but send the wrong signal. You run every day, long sessions, moderate intensity. You sweat. You burn calories. But from your body's perspective, this looks like prolonged stress. No clear start. No clear end. Just ongoing demand. Humans didn't evolve like that. We walked for long distances. And when necessary, we exploded into short bursts of effort. Then we recovered. Not stuck in the middle. Forever. When stress becomes continuous, cortisol doesn't spike. It stays elevated. And when it stays elevated, your body shifts strategy. Preserve energy. Hold reserves. Stay ready. So it does. By holding fat, right where cortisol has the strongest effect, your abdomen. Then you add fasting. You skip meals. You extend the window, trying to force fat loss. But combine that with poor sleep, mental pressure, constant stimulation, and your body doesn't see discipline. It sees instability. Food is unpredictable. Energy is uncertain. The environment feels unsafe. So it adapts. Lower thyroid activity. Reduce energy output. Hold on to fuel, especially visceral fat. And sometimes, your body tells you directly. You wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning. Suddenly, alert, heart slightly racing, mind completely awake. That's not random. That's not just bad sleep. That's your brain triggering an emergency response. When blood sugar drops too far during the night, your body reacts. Cortisol rises. Adrenaline follows to bring glucose back up. But in doing so, it wakes you up. This is a metabolic alarm. And when it happens repeatedly, deep sleep disappears. Recovery declines. Growth hormone drops. And your body receives the same message. Again and again. We are not safe. At this point, the pattern becomes clear. Fat loss isn't something your body is failing to do. It's something your body is refusing to allow. Because from its perspective, losing stored energy in an unpredictable, stressful environment would be a mistake. So the goal changes. Not burn more. Not restrict harder. but send a different signal. Safety. When you walk after a meal, your muscles begin to absorb glucose directly, like opening small doors that don't need insulin. Energy is used calmly, predictably. When you sleep at consistent times, and your body knows, energy will be available. Nighttime stress signals decrease. No alarms, no emergency wake-ups, just stability. When you train with short, intense effort, clear beginning, clear end, your body responds differently. Improved insulin sensitivity, higher growth hormone, better metabolic flexibility. Not stress that lingers, but stress that resolves. When you eat enough protein, you preserve muscle, you stabilize hunger, and most importantly, you remove the signal of starvation. And when stress itself decreases, even slightly, cortisol begins to fall. Not instantly, but enough to change the direction of the system. Because in the end, this was never just about fat. It was about signals. Your body is not trying to look good. It's trying to keep you alive. And visceral fat is part of that strategy. It stays. When the world feels unpredictable, it holds. When energy feels uncertain, it protects. When stress feels unresolved. So if it doesn't leave, it's not because you failed. It's because your body is still choosing survival over letting go. Change the signal, and the decision changes. Not immediately, not dramatically, but gradually, quietly, inevitably. And one day, without forcing it, your body stops holding on. Because for the first time, it no longer feels like it has to.